All right. And microphone. All right, well, that was fun. All right, so for tonight, tonight. It's a good thing I murdered that song because I can't afford it. All right. That's all the things. Shouldn't take that long. As soon as Pete gets back. Well, let's load these things up. Slow school. load up the humble bundle while we're waiting for Pete for bundles. Well, alrighty. What to do? He's supposed to be here. Alright, well, let me. I am not a good talking person. It's a good thing no one is here. Alright, so let's review these animations. Finally. Hello.
Hello.
Why
How's
are you
it going?
turning your video off?
You're welcome. No one wants to see my ugly mug.
I think everyone wants to see everyone's ugly mugs. It's like watching a car accident. That's why I have my mug up there.
My face is like a car accident.
I was saying both of us, but if you want to take it that way, that's fine with me. All right, so the notes I had for tonight's meeting were advanced GFX for the shield, tasks for things that need to get done, and you said you hadn't gotten much done, so that's it.
All right. Well, yeah. So things are crazy at work right now. So I kind of fell off the working on things train.
It's not good. They're just being lazy.
Right. I'm just lazy. Just so damned lazy.
So damned lazy.
Let's see. Y is going to be U, negative 100.
All right. So you've been busy, so you haven't got much done. But we still need to do the tasks. Oh, I didn't load that up. Let's go to Google Drives. So I think the current plan is, since you're going to be kind of not have that much time, I was going to try and get all the things done that I can get done so that you won't have to wait on me for anything.
Okay.
Basically, all the art assets. I mean, obviously, there's going to be some things that are going to pop up where, like, I need this, and then I'll go and do it. But I mean, we'll try and get most of it done.
Okay.
So I see you added a bunch of things.
Yeah, I was just, freestyling it. Kind of went off and added a bunch of bad guys. I figured that should probably be enough.
And these are some bad hombres.
Oh my gosh, they're so bad. I should hire them and then fire them. They're so bad.
You should act like you're completely against it and then hire them to work for you.
Yes.
So I will try and get some of the bad guys done. I'll get one done at a time.
Okay. I'm having a hard time getting the lighting to work.
I can't see what you're doing.
I'm just...
I think for the first thing, we just want to create just the one level. There's the Mars level, right? Until the prototype's done.
Yeah.
For the jumping, I think I included a sprite for the jumping, but we're gonna want to expand that out, like do some animation for it. Because right now it's just one frame.
The jumping?
Yeah.
I added a roll to the jumping.
Well,
so he jumps and then rolls. We're talking about for the molly, right?
Oh yeah, you did use the rolling animation for the jump?
Yeah.
All right, that works.
So he goes straight up and then rolls and then goes down.
All right, that sounds cool. You want to do gliding. Apparently that's going to be when the shield is at the top, right?
Yes.
And sliding, dashing. All right, yeah. I think I'll just work through all of these and try and just work on some a little bit at a time. All right, so this right here, them displaying to everyone else. I guess I can share my screen with you. So you can also see what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
What you talking about, Willis?
All right. So now you should be able to see the screen.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that looks a lot like the white stand-in you gave me to work with.
Yeah. So yeah, I gave you the stand-in, which was just like a really quick. And so what I was thinking was it was just going to animate between the two. And obviously I have some scaling issues I need to work out because this looks a little small. Looks like he shrinks it. And also the handle looks like it shrinks the diagonal. So I have some scaling issues to work out.
Mm-hmm. I think it'd be fine if if the shield didn't go the full height. I think that's fine. So obviously
I'll just fix this one.
Yeah. Oh, you'll make that one bigger?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I mean it's 4 frames either way that I have to adjust. So it doesn't really matter. Every time I go in here, I adjust things, so I have to be careful with that. because I didn't. Obviously, I'm not professional quality yet, so.
Looks really good to me.
But the idea is you'll start here, and if you push down, then it'll go that one. So it'll be a little animation down.
Mm-hmm.
And if we want, we can add in 2 extra frames in between. Yeah, and the same to the back, and then to the top, and then back to the front. And then I have one. Then they have these ones for when it goes from front to back. So you would have the front shield and then the back shield right after that.
Nice.
And then this one would be top to bottom.
So you did 3 frames for front to back and top to bottom, but only 1 frame in between the other ones.
Yeah, because it's a farther distance.
Okay.
Because front to back is farther distance from front to bottom.
Okay.
But we can throw in extra animations too if we want to make it a little bit smoother.
Yeah, we'll see how this looks when it's in game. That's actually my next step, is making it so that you can choose where the shield goes.
Forgot, I also have to give you a new version of the guy.
You upgraded it?
No, we want to remove his front arm.
Well, the layers make that pretty easy.
Right. So exportio. Anything you want to talk about while I am doing this? Like what your plans are?
Yeah, well, my plans right now are to create the enum to handle the state for where his shield is holding, and then set up all of the animations. I'm trying to decide whether I care or not about running an animation for front to down and then reversing it from down to front, or just making 2 different ones. I'm not quite sure which one I want to do.
I would just make 2 different ones. I mean, just for like a few reasons. One, you're not trying to overly engineer the animation process.
Mm-hmm.
And 2, in case we make the animation slightly different. That's what if we add like a little whoosh?
That's a good point. It does make it more expandable in the future.
So, I mean, it's a little bit extra work, but I think if we want to modify things, it'll be easier.
Okay.
That's just my opinion, and no one ever cares about what my opinion is.
So there's that, and then I need to get this onto version control.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
That way you can see what I've done and what I've been working on.
Yeah, I can't. I don't know what's wrong. I've been trying to fix an issue with running Unreal Engine from my desktop. Because there's something weird. Because I installed Visual Studio not to the C drive. And I installed Unreal Engine to the C drive. So it seems to not like going to a different directory because it's throwing like weird pathing issues.
Oh, interesting.
And so when I tried to reinstall Visual Studio to the C drive, it said it won't because there's some kind of registry setting or some kind of setting that's somewhere. I tried to look for the registry setting, I couldn't find it. But there's some kind of setting somewhere that kept putting it to the same default location or the same location that I originally installed it to. For some reason, I can't change it. And I tried all sorts of things. People all had similar problems, and there's like 2 or 3 different things to try to make it so that I could choose a different installations directory, but none of them worked. It keeps installing to the same non-C drive. So I guess Visual Studio, 2017 came out? And so I guess I'll try installing that and using Unreal Engine in that instead.
Okay.
So otherwise, I am thoroughly frustrated with Visual Studio because that is really stupid not being able to change your install directory.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was my frustrations with that. All right, so Slack. Also, I just decided to name the things main project, and that way it's easier. I mean, because we're only going to be working on one main project at a time.
That's true.
If we really needed to, we could change it, I guess. But until we need to, I think, I don't know, unless you're against it.
Nope.
Space will run Armless, and now you have the Armless one uploaded to Slack.
Nice. Slack does make stuff like that nice.
Slack makes things a lot easier to work with. I like Slack a lot when we are working on things.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's just a waste.
Yeah. I think we were a little crazy on the channels.
Yeah. Yeah. It is kind of nice because they'll stay there and then you can just go back. It's kind of like categorize things. So.
Yeah. One other thing I want to talk about, the Humble Bundle for Unreal Engine and Unity books. Have that page up right here. Now, I just saw this, and I thought it was cool because I don't know Unreal Engine or Unity all that well. I've done some basic games in both of them. I've made that one Tracer Racer game, which I'm still kind of proud of, even though it's not that great.
No, I like it a lot.
But
we should finish that.
Whatever.
We should finish that.
Yeah, I mean, we could make it a lot better without too much more work. And then just call it quits.
No, I believe you mean release it.
Yeah, same difference. But anyway, so this bundle for $15, you get I counted them out 18 books.
Nice.
Well, and then this mapped thing, I don't know what that is, but it's a 30-day subscription, whatever it is. It looks like it's for like some kind of visualization type thing. Wait,
no, that's
library.
Learning.
Yeah, learning library. All right, sounds cool.
Cool.
But these books themselves seem to be pretty decent. The one I was reading was Building an RPG with Unreal 4.x.
I started reading that one today too.
The reason why is because I'm hoping it has a good dialogue system and a good way to store things. And from what I was reading so far, after spending like 30 minutes reading it, it looks that it does have a pretty decent dialogue system.
Oh, okay.
Because my personal project that I want to work on is a flashbacky-ish game.
And you need a bunch of different dialogue trees.
Yeah, I'm gonna need dialogue trees and dialogue options, and I don't want to do it inside of hard-coded values inside of blueprints.
I don't know what your problem with that is, Matt.
Because it makes it hard to review all of them in once, check for spelling errors and whatnot. It also makes it more difficult to edit if they're not just in one place.
Look, Matt, I don't want to hear any of your crap, okay?
So for a little bit extra work, it looks like I can make a pretty decent dialogue system.
Cool.
There's going to be a bit of talking in it. And that's what these two characters up here are, the walking and running. The running is a little goofy. I'll live with it. Walking, I think, is decent enough.
Yeah, looks good.
Standing. These are 16 frames per second. 16 frames total. I'm gonna stick with that. I know Flashback was like, oh, we're 24 frames a second. Look at us, we're so cool. But I think what I'm gonna do is just 16 frames per second. Maybe more if I feel like it.
Yeah, the amount of work goes up huge amounts for every single frame per second you want to do.
Yeah, it's pretty much exponential.
Yeah.
I mean, because I'd have to do 1/3 extra work to get this to 24 frames per second.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to scrap some of these frames because some of these frames won't fit into the 24 frames per second.
Gosh.
So I would probably be able to salvage 8 of the frames, and then I'd have to redo 16 more frames to make them fit into the 24. But if I went up to 32 frames per second, I would only have to I'd have to also make 16 more frames. Either way, I'd have to do about 16 more frames.
Jeez. Per character, per thing.
Yeah, I don't think all of them is going to take a whole second to perform some of the actions.
Yeah, okay.
But
yeah. For every second of action you have to add that many frames.
Yeah.
Because you want everyone to appear the same.
Yeah, so I'm going to be shooting for 16 frames per second. Because I like it. And it seems to be smooth enough for what I want.
Nice. Looks good.
And yeah, but I have a ton of animations to do. You'll see my list of animations. And that's just for the player. You have to do animations for other characters too. And then the storyline thing is pretty complex. I've got something started in here that I've been trying to work it out, and I was trying to work it out on paper also. So the basic idea is whatever happens in the game, wherever you die or whatever, is going to be your ending.
Okay.
But hopefully people will want to get better endings by playing farther into the game and accomplishing more things. That's the basic idea of the game, is by playing it more, you get better endings. And also the game gets a little more difficult the farther into the story you get.
Huh.
So
interesting.
One thing, so I have in here, leaving the city at any time, she just escapes and she gets like a little animation like she's on a beach somewhere. And whatever corporation is like in a newspaper that's going to take over defense and whatnot, it's basically becoming a totalitarian corporation that's in control of everything.
Okay.
And then, like, if more things happen, like, I had some examples in here for some endings. So if she leaves town just before she saves her friend, then she just leaves town. But if she leaves town after she saves her friend with her friend, then she's with her friend at the ending.
Okay.
Still not the best ending, but it's better than leaving your friend to die.
Agreed.
And then there's captured. So if she gets captured before or after her friend is involved, that'll be whoever's in the room at the end of the game after you get captured. So if you get captured before you know that your friend is involved with this, then you're alone in the room. But if you get captured after that, then your friend is in the room with you, and you both get a shitty ending.
Nice.
And so, yeah, so those are the kind of things that I wanted to throw into the game. And I'm trying to do it with as minimal work as possible, because that is my jam, trying to do less work.
I'm all for doing less work.
It's going to be complicated as it is, so I don't want to overcomplicate it. So these things are going to be simple switches. If you accomplish this, then it unlocks this ending, pretty much.
Okay.
So it's going to be pretty simple logic, and it's going to just be like extending scenes. So instead of seeing like a 10-second ending, you'd see a 15-second ending with an extra scene being the extra 5 seconds.
Okay.
And I think that would be cool.
I think that is cool.
And I'm trying to make the game relatively short also. So I have like 4 major sections. First, the main character learns about what's going on, and then finds out that the friend is captured, and then develops a plan to go rescue the friend. Then she goes and rescues the friend, and then she finds the friend a hiding place, and then she has to go and figure out what to do with the evidence. And then that will be based on different endings.
Cool. So you would put this out there as chapters, I take it?
I would not put them out there as chapters. I would just, what I'm thinking is you just play through the game. And if it takes you 2 hours or whatever, then it's going to take you 2 hours. If you're going to spend 10 hours digging around, then you'll spend 10 hours.
But each game is a contained story.
Yeah. And whatever you do in it is just what happens in the story. So I'm trying to do this also to kind of develop out a way to do this on a larger scale.
Okay.
But I want to do it really simple on a really small scale first, so I can try and figure out what to do and what not to do. And I think this would be a pretty good story, and should be relatively short. But since you'd be able to replay the game over and over again, it would be different most of the time. Because like some places, like the building where your friend's being held is going to be a random location that's going to be generated at the start of the new game. So there's going to be things like that. So you can't just know where the building is and then go in there and do it without accomplishing other things. But you could, because the building's going to actually be there. But you're not going to know exactly where it is what I'm saying. If you wanted to spend your time looking through the city, you'd be able to find it eventually. Anyway, so that's it. That was my idea.
Cool. I like it.
I hope it's fun. It's a lot of work to make something that's not fun if it's not fun.
Yes, and making something that's not fun is not fun.
It's not. And it might be something that only I like.
It could be.
I want to do synthwave music too, because I'm still addicted to that stuff for now.
I'm cool with that. I like it too.
And yeah, I think that's everything I have designed with it so far. So I'm going to be working on that slowly. I'm going to try and get all the players' animations done. So the run animation is a little goofy, a little wonky, but I think it's good enough. So I'm going to move on to the next animation, and I'm just going to do that. And then if I want to, I can go in and adjust, make the animations better once everything's all ready to go.
Okay.
That's my point of that slow progress. The website.
Yeah.
I marked my progress on the website. Let me just bring it up real quick.
Let me see.
I don't remember what it's called, but called Blog Site Features.
Yes, that's it.
I don't have it on this machine, so I can't really show you anything. It's on my laptop.
All right.
What I have done is logging in, registering with email verification. I don't have changed password yet. I mean, you can change your password. You can log in and change your password. But I don't have lost, forgotten password working yet.
Okay.
I have security levels in, and that's all working already.
Nice.
So even with pages that I haven't made yet, it will be working with those.
Nice.
Based on how I have it set up. Users, you can add and edit users in the admin if you are an admin.
Okay.
Posts, you can add and edit posts if you have appropriate user levels in the admin section. And the next thing I'm going to work on are pages. And after that, I'm going to have to work on the menu. And the comments are kind of tough. That's probably going to be... because you can't really moderate comments unless people are commenting. And so until I have the front end working for the posts, was that?
What? Oh, sorry.
Anyway,
My bad.
As soon as I have the front end working, so where you can actually comment on the posts, then I'll start on the comment moderation. Okay. I don't want you to be able to create comments from the admin section, basically. But you can,
right.
You can add and edit. I mean, you can edit and remove them.
Cool.
So
Sweet.
It's the admin part's about half done because the post was kind of complicated. I added in categories and tags. Obviously, those are pretty popular and useful things to have for blog posts. I added in parenting.
What does that mean? Like a hierarchy of tags?
No, hierarchy. Well, yeah, I did the hierarchy of categories. Tags are not. Don't have a hierarchy.
Oh, okay.
What I was talking about was hierarchy of the actual posts.
Oh, so you can have child posts.
Yeah. And so you can create like a blog series, and then you can add blog posts to that series. What is that?
Sorry, I keep messing with the arm on my microphone.
Oh.
So would it be hard to convert a single post into a multi-post?
I don't know what you mean by that.
Let's say you started with a single post and then you're like, oh, that was popular. I want to do more of that and keep them in a group.
Right now, what you'd have to do is you have to create a post that would be the parent group, the parent of it, right?
Uh-huh.
And then underneath that, you'd have to go in and edit that post to be the child of that one you just created.
Oh, okay.
And then you just add more children to that parent one.
Okay, that's not hard.
It's not an unlimited generation type thing. You're not going to have a child of a child of a child. Except in some cases. It depends on the type of the post. So what I was also thinking was it could be used for comic hosting, because that was going to be one of the things I wanted to do also, and I only want to design one blog post site. So what I put in was there's a lot of things that can be a child of a series. It can be a post. It can be a book. It can be or it can be, I don't remember all of them. But basically, you can add a page, like a comic page, to a book. And the book can be part of a series. Or inside of the book, you can have sections of a book. So you can have part 1, part 2, part 3, and have chapters. Cool. So basically, that's that kind of hierarchy. So you can have a child of a child of a child if they're if they have child types. And so that's what I put in there.
Okay, that makes sense. I like that.
And so that's what was taking a long time doing the posts. Then everything is going through filters so that all the inputs can't be, you can't do any injection attacks.
How do you do your checking? How do you validate the input?
There is I only validate some inputs, but all inputs go through a cleansing process.
Okay.
And that cleansing process strips anything special out, especially things that are like SQL injection, but also other kinds of injection attacks. Like if you wanted to try and do PHP injection. There's nothing you can do against JavaScript injection. People can modify special browsers and do things with that, so you can't really do too much against that.
Sure.
People are going to be able to mess with the JavaScript, but the back end is pretty secure.
Okay.
And no eval statements, 0 of them.
None. Come on, how about one?
No.
Come on, you're no fun.
You can secure down eval statements, but
right.
My solid rule on this is 0 eval statements.
I feel like that is an accomplishable task. I don't know of any reason why we would need eval statements.
It makes some things easier, especially with plugins.
Sure, they make it easier, but I'm saying need.
Right.
Like, we can obviously work around them, and if we can, we should.
Yep. I'm also trying to consider how I'm going to do the templating, because obviously you want people to be able to customize their websites.
Yeah, that's probably going to be the most complicated thing, I think, as far as this whole thing goes.
Yeah. So I'm still considering how I'm going to do that, and I'm thinking we'll just query extra information, and they'll have to put it inside the template using the same kind of templating that I use.
Okay.
And so that's pretty much it. That's all we do.
That's all.
That's what they get. They should be able to make the site look pretty much however they want with that. They'll be able to do CSS files and do images to the CSS files, and they'll be able to manipulate the HTML. But unlike other places, I'm not going to let them run PHP inside of the templates, inside of the themes, because I don't think it's necessary. And also, I don't want to spend hours and hours trying to lock that down.
Yeah.
So just not allowed. And they can make, if they have HTML and CSS, and they can throw JavaScripts in there too, they should be fine. I don't see a reason why they would have to do PHP.
Yeah, I suppose that it would be nice for some things, but I feel like with a little creativity, you don't need it.
Yeah. Well, the way I do things with my templating engine, they won't need it.
Good.
But yeah. Anyway, sorry to bore you.
Oh,
all the things.
You should be sorry.
What's the plan? I guess we can stop. Wait, I think that's it for the show.
Okay, cool. Bye.